Attention viewers, do not try anything you're about to see at home.
We're what you call experts.
On this charged up episode of MythBusters, there's fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole!
As the MythBusters unleash their A to Z of explosions.
Oh, we've exposed the creamy center.
From A for audit to Z for zenith.
3, 2, 1.
This alphabet's the bomb. With behind-the-scenes blasts from the past.
Nice ride.
Thank you.
As well as new booms to bloom.
And that is an explosion in water.
Get set for one of the most explosive episodes in MythBusters history.
Fire! Bet my family's glad they let me borrow that china.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
70% chance of science.
And Jamie Heineman.
Is that hot enough for you?
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Together with Tori Belleci.
That was insane.
Brent Imahara. And Carrie Byron.
Let's do it.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
All right, so you're wearing the bomb suit. You got a crazy look in your eyes. I'm guessing we're doing something pretty explosive.
Oh, not just pretty explosive. Very explosive.
How so?
We're unveiling the A to Z of MythBuster explosions.
Exactly. We are going to be presenting the ultimate guide to everything that goes boom.
We're going to be reminiscing about our favorite explosions, revealing insider secrets, and most importantly, blowing a lot of stuff up.
That sounds great. What are we waiting for?
You!
Blasts can be such a blast that it's no wonder they've become a fan favorite. And this unique A to Z of glee is packing a punch. Starting, as you might expect, at the beginning. Where A is not for arsenal or annihilation, but audit?
All right, so A is for audit. What's that all about, like tax audit?
Oh, it's more like record keeping. Because somehow, within the 800 or so myths that we've done, we have found an excuse to do 752 explosions.
Wait, 752?
If you don't believe me, check this out.
Dude, your stomach's gonna burst.
It was the very first episode of MythBusters that featured the first explosion.
That's huge. That's like 3 times the size of what it was.
Even if the combo of pig stomach, Pop Rocks, and cola did fall a little flat.
Okay.
Whoa! Yeah, that's what we call a hell of a Saturday night.
Through episode 4's Toilet Town.
There was actually a little poof in the toilet.
We have poop.
And 5's Gas Gag.
Hello, explosion. Hello? Hello? He never answers his phone.
The boom was still finding its feet. In fact, it wasn't until Tree Cannon
If this doesn't blow up this cannon, I don't know what will.
that we finally saw some shrapnel worth celebrating.
Is everybody all right?
But from there,
This looks perfect.
there was no holding back.
3.
As booms, big and small, super and subtle, began to rack up, and up. After 3 seasons, the boom tally had hit 90. After 5 seasons, 280. After 8 seasons, 630. And just last week,
All right, 100 pounds of ampo.
it reached 752. But for B, there's only one possible place to go.
B is for bomb range. I know, big shocker. Now this is the true MythBusters home away from home. We've done over 750 explosions, and a quarter of them have been done right here.
Today, we're going to give you more than just stats. We're going to give you an inside tour because there's more to this place than meets the eye.
Like this place, located just below the bomb range. It's the Emergency Vehicle Operations Course, or EVOC, home to a number of MythBusters driving adventures, including Spy Car,
Eat my...
There we go. They stuck in. I can hear them.
Tipsy versus Tire,
Was that the rat? That was awesome!
and Dust Devil. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Jumping over here,
You get to the gun range, where we have taken aim at a whole bunch of myths. In fact, this is where we shot up Black Beauty. 3, 2, 1, fire!
that didn't suck. But enough of all that, let's get to the bomb range itself. And we start here, at the entrance gate.
Now up here is what we call the blast zone. This is where we set up all our experiments, explosives, blasting caps. but the wire that makes small go boom runs 100 yards back down the road.
To here, the bunker. Now this thing is made out of 1/4-inch steel, and the windows are made from 2-inch thick bulletproof glass. The best part is, it has a remote triggering system so we can set off the explosions.
The only downside is the size. Fitting all of us in, plus our cameraman, plus our sound person, plus our director, and JD, can be a bit of a trick.
Make room for me. But besides the squash, this is the place where we've had the opportunity to watch firsthand some of the most famous moments in MythBusters history. Roll the tape.
I love it when common materials are dangerous. Go ahead and light it.
In 3,
2, 1!
There's no doubt that the bomb range can blow a gasket.
Bye-bye.
And for this countdown, it makes for the perfect B movie.
Did you get that on high speed?
But for the C word of the day, Tori's arriving in style.
nice ride.
Thanks.
I guess I know what C is for.
Exactly. C is for cement truck, or cement truck explosion, which has become iconic on MythBusters. In fact, it is pretty much what MythBusters is all about. Fun, science, and taking things to the max.
Indeed, but while the ending was epic, the start of this cement truck cleanout was anything but.
What do you think that is? About a half a cubic foot?
If that.
Oh my god. That's it, Tor?
Yeah, I know, it's pretty pathetic.
You know what I liked most about that explosion is it juxtaposes so nicely with all the little booms earlier in the show. You know how anticlimactic that was? The fire truck's leaving.
And that buildup made it even more exciting.
Yep, it was the failure of the small explosions that made the big one so special.
However, that is the one explosion that we don't have a high speed of.
Oh, that's right. Everybody was just sitting there waiting in anticipation. The cement truck was there. Boom, it was gone. High-fiving, celebration. We look over at the high-speed operator, and he looks like he's going to cry. There was a technical glitch. First huge explosion in MythBusters history. No high-speed shot.
This blink and you miss it moment could only be slowed down by literally playing the footage one frame at a time. But that was plenty enough for it to become the fan favorite.
Well, there's your problem.
Where to go?
C to D takes us on a date with danger.
D is for dynamite.
Dynamite. Traditionally made from nitroglycerin, this sticky trick has been the weapon of choice for many a Western. And it's also gone with a bang on MythBusters.
Okay, we're gonna blow ourselves out of jail with one stick of dynamite.
It's dynamite arrow.
In 3, 2, 1.
Or has it?
This actually isn't dynamite. In fact, none of the dynamite we've used on the show has been dynamite. It's a special explosive that JD mixed up for us.
6 drops of essence of terror, 5 drops of sinister sauce.
It has the explosive power of dynamite, the look of dynamite, but it's a much safer substitute because nitroglycerin is notoriously unstable.
Coming up on MythBusters.
More A to Z of explosions.
You don't want to miss this.
In the A to Z of MythBusters explosions, we've seen dynamite danger,
D is for dynamite.
cement truck carnage, and an awesome auto.
I call this piece Explosion 753.
And up next, it's time to set free the E.
Fire!
A letter which could stand for evergreen.
There are bits of tree everywhere.
Or extreme environments.
Bye-bye.
Or even for experts.
In the vicinity of 5 minutes, his fans should be in New York.
But while these would be suitable selections, the obvious E stands for explosions. But what exactly are they?
Now, technically speaking, explosions, like the one that we're about to do to this china cabinet, are a rapid increase in volume and release of energy, usually resulting in a shockwave. Now, there are, of course, many different types of explosions, such as volcanic eruptions, electrical explosions, and nuclear explosions. But the kind that we see most often in our show are chemical explosions, which usually involve a rapid and violent oxidation reaction.
Oh, yeah.
That was a gut.
Now, the first explosive ever discovered was gunpowder, and we have used a lot of it on this show.
But our explosive of choice is C4.
When in doubt, C4.
The explosive in it is cyclotrimethylene trinitramine. And here's the science bit. When you press the button, an electrical circuit causes the blasting cap to go off. That creates a shock to the C4, which in turn sets off an extreme oxidation reaction that causes the C4 to decompose into a variety of gases, especially nitrogen and oxides of carbon. The gases expand at 26,000 feet per second and apply a huge force to anything in the surrounding area.
So ultimately, a C4 boom is just a chemical reaction taken to the max.
All right, you guys ready for this? Yeah. All right, this is E is for explosion. In 3, 2, 1, fire!
That was beautiful.
That's a good explosion right there.
Yep, explosion number 755. A perfect example of the rapport of C4.
I bet my family's glad they let me borrow that china.
Next in the A to Z, it's F for food, glorious food.
Now, as you can tell by the fact that we have to put a sign like this in our refrigerator, Mythbusters and food have a very odd history. Now, sometimes we eat food. Sometimes we blow food up.
First, it was beans that went ballistic.
This has been the funniest day.
Next, steaks were set to sizzle.
Red meat and high explosives.
Then came popcorn, watermelons, and wine.
Now that's a party.
But all of these food flare-ups do have one thing in common.
All the food that's destroyed on Mythbusters is way past its sell-by date and is not fit for human consumption.
Next up is something that puts the G in gee whiz.
Now, over the years, we've done a number of episodes featuring these, and we've come to understand that they are, in fact, no joke.
All right, this is testing the blast wave of a hand grenade. In 3, 2, 1, fire. Wow, that was awesome.
That was energetic.
To be honest, we're totally in awe of people whose job it is to face these in real life. But the grenade that makes it into this A to Z is the rocket propelled grenade, or RPG, because that is what gave us one of the best booms in Mythbusters history.
All right, this is RPG versus trailer, just to see what it does.
3, 2, 1. Oh!
It's gone. The trailer's completely gone.
It was gone in a 60th of a second. But how did the team pull off shooting an RPG in the first place?
And we've been trying to get RPGs on the show for years. And then along came the movie Red, which featured a head-to-head showdown between an RPG and a handgun, which is perfect for Mythbusters. So we headed down to our friends at the Energetic Materials Research and Testing Center at New Mexico Tech. We borrowed their expertise and their weapons to film one of my favorite explosive stories ever. Okay, this is a survivability test, RPG shooter versus bullet shooter.
In 3, 2, 1.
Wow. That was intense.
Not only was it an intense day in the desert, but the RPG was well worth the wait. And what's more, it's epic shots like these that take us seamlessly onto H for high speeds.
No, I'm with Carrie and Grant on this one. The RPG hitting the trailer and that explosion, catching it on high speed, is probably one of the coolest ones we've ever done on the show. And the reason why is you can see the RPG actually go through the front of the trailer, and it doesn't explode until it hits the backside of the trailer. I mean, it was awesome.
While the high speed does ooze awesomeness, it's in revealing a level of detail that would otherwise remain hidden, where the high speed really comes into its own. And to prove just that, the guys are going to tear apart a TV.
All set? Let's go.
We're going to put a pound of C4 into the television and then film the explosion on 2 different high-speed cameras. One will be filming at 1,000 frames per second, and the other will be filming at 6,900 frames per second. We're going to compare the two and check out the details.
And after a quick muse of the manual, it's time to make room for the boom.
All right, demonstrating a high-speed camera by blowing up a TV. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, fire!
Now, in real time, basically you say 3, 2, 1, the buttons hit, and then for us, that's it.
It's pretty much now you see it, now you don't.
Yep, real time. It's a blink and you miss it moment.
But for the high speed, you see a lot more. This camera is running at 1,000 frames per second. I mean, you can see the bloom of destruction, the glass shattering, the plastic flying.
But now, check out the detail you can see with the 6,900 frames per second. You can actually see the shockwave moving out from the center. You can see the television pulling apart as it starts to explode. Not only that, but you can see the gases expanding and then rushing back in to fill the void where they've just left. This is a much more detailed, complete story of the explosion.
Ain't that the truth? It's a high speed that really gives that detonation detail. And in full high definition.
Coming up on MythBusters, the A to Z of boobs. Fire in the hole! Oh, it's so beautiful. Lockdown.
It's the MythBusters A to Z of explosions. And following H for high speed, I is for implants?
You know, when I got the memo that we were going to be revisiting implants, this is the last thing I pictured.
Yeah, me too. But you know what? We're here to reminisce. So let's reminisce. Exploding implants was one of the first explosive stories we ever did. Adam and Jamie tested whether breast implants would explode on a pressurized airplane.
And did they?
Well, in a word, no.
All right, shall we take it up to, let's say, 30,000 feet?
In what must have been the first time that men were ever disappointed with implants, their padded pockets failed to blow.
I didn't really notice any difference at all.
But the MythBusters did learn an important lesson.
Adam, how are they doing? Are they getting bigger?
My breasts are expanding. Repeat, breasts are expanding.
You don't always need a blast to have a blast.
Oh, God!
Next up, it's back to the bomb range, where J is for JD.
What I think you need is the MythBusters Concerto in C4.
All right, JD, this one's for you. Go, JD. Go, JD. Fill this piano with some TNT.
JD, or more formally, Sergeant JD Nelson.
On the record, I'm just going to say I'm totally against this burning of wine and champagne.
Is a true honorary Mythbuster.
Okay, the question is, do you want to do like a surgical kind of an entry around the lock, or do you want to just blow the crap out of it?
Blow the crap out of it.
Okay, let's blow the crap out of it then.
Yeah.
But who exactly is he?
All in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
And does he have the coolest job in the world?
My name is J.D. Nelson, and I've been a sergeant for the Alameda County Sheriff's Office Bomb Squad for 12 years, as well as doing some crazy things for MythBusters. I spend most of my time dealing with real-life explosive situations. If there's a suspicious package, I do a render-safe procedure for it. If someone's doing construction and finds a military ordinance, then it's my job to make it safe. It's pretty cool, but sometimes it's dangerous.
But by being cool, calm, and collected, JD's the ultimate master blaster. From J to K with some cooking classes.
If there's one room that's suffered at the hands of MythBusters, it's the kitchen. But don't just take my word for it.
No, take mine. There's been exploding microwaves.
Fire in the hole in 3, 2, 1. Whoa!
Exploding fridges.
There's stuff in there.
And full-on kitchen destruction.
Turn on the gas.
Courtesy of methane.
Oh, yeah! That is awesome!
And C4.
In 3, 2, 1.
Boom!
They say the kitchen is the room you're most likely to have an accident. MythBusters? Definitely true.
L is for loud. Oh, sorry. Explosions are seriously loud.
That's something else.
But see, the problem is, we can't show you how loud these explosions are, because if we played them at full volume, you'd probably burst your TV speakers, or at least distort horribly.
So we're gonna do a little test. We're gonna turn on the lawnmower and use this dB meter to find out exactly how loud it is. Then we're gonna get a pound of C4, park the lawnmower on top of it, blow it up, and find out how loud the boom is.
Because actions speak louder than words, Grant fires her up, and Carrie gets a reading at ground zero.
Feeling about 90.
And then again, 100 feet away.
What do you got?
Yeah, we're sticking at about 40. It's, not even louder than the ambient noise around here.
So with the baselines in the bag, the Bontex brace for the boom. But how will C4's crack compare?
Okay, Carrie Byron, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do this.
This is L is for loud in 3, 2, 1, fire!
It sure was a roar. But as for data, well, the near mic got mained, and the far one maxed out.
That was loud.
In fact, it was so loud, it maxed out the meter.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was gonna happen.
Meaning all we know is that the din was at least 130 dB, making it louder than the blast of a jet. Meanwhile, as Carrie's about to confirm, M is for movies.
M is for movies.
What does that have to do with explosions?
Well, we can't do a MythBusters A to Z of explosives without taking movies to task. Because if there's one thing we've learned on MythBusters, is that Hollywood will always choose style over substance.
Yeah, you know, there are still so many classic mistakes that Hollywood makes.
Like cars going over cliffs always explode.
Oh, yeah! Oh! That's a negative on the explosion.
Bummer.
Reality makes a crappy special effects crew.
Or there's the idea that you can jump out of the way of an explosion.
Or that every explosion has to end in a fireball, which it doesn't.
Not to say movies always get wrong.
No, I mean, we were able to blow open a safe using water and a charge.
And it is possible to use liquid nitrogen to slow down a battery-triggered explosion.
Oh! Nice!
And for the most part, movies should just get real, because even without special effects trickery, explosions are awesome.
Can you guys stop talking? I'm trying to watch this movie.
Bye-bye.
Don't try anything you see on the show at home.
We're what you call experts.
With cement trucks, food fights, and movie cliches, the explosion A to Z has hit halfway. So what's next?
Next up, the mother of all explosions. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, fire. Uh-oh. It looks like we must be on the letter N for nothing. Because when nothing happens when you fire that trigger, something has gone wrong, which also means somebody needs to man up and go over, rewire, and fix the problem. It's a bomb tech's worst nightmare.
Yep, it's when nothing happens.
Incendiary torpedo. In 3, 2, 1, fire.
And a misfire.
That explosions are at their most dangerous.
This is Exploding Shark, 400 pounds of explosives. On your go, Frank.
3, 2, 1, fire!
It's also when nothing happens that explosives technicians are at their most brave.
You kidding me? This is like the worst experiment ever.
But that's why the MythBusters use the best in the business.
We're ready to commence countdown. 3, 2, 1, fire!
Most of the time, I'd say a bomb tech has the best job in the world. But when nothing happens, that's really when they earn their pay. Looks like that's my problem.
Next, it's over to Greg.
Now, one of the key parts of myth-busting is data.
I am totally psyched about numbers.
Now, explosions are no exception, but usually the type of data we're trying to get is whether a person lives or dies.
Whoa! Well, that was definitely the death zone.
For that, our favorite tool is this, the Osico rupture disc. Now, this is a carefully engineered metal disc that's designed to burst when it experiences a certain pressure.
Dudes, the first is totally intact.
Now, the beauty part is that it's a binary system. There's no complex graphs to interpret. There's no numbers to crunch. It's either not burst or burst. It's very simple, and you get your answer right away.
Simple and quick. Just the way the MythBusters like it.
That's awesome. I love results.
Meanwhile, back at the bunker, Carrie's feeling the pressure.
Back when we were on the letter E, we talked about the science of explosions, where we concentrated on chemical explosions. Lovely! But there's another kind of explosion, pressure vessels. Now, we do these a lot on MythBusters, and we're going to do one right now.
And for that, they need 3 things. A pressure vessel, a heat source, and a don't try this at home warning.
A pressure vessel explosion is a mechanical explosion. And the way it happens is you take a sealed vessel and you increase the pressure inside of it to the point where the vessel can no longer hold that pressure. When it ruptures, it creates an explosion. But you know what? We have never done a can of shaving cream.
Until now.
You know what my favorite part about pressure vessels are?
Waiting for the boom. You never know quite when they're gonna go off.
I love that. By my calculation, it should explode in 3, 2, 1.
How did you do that?
Magic. Oh my God, it went everywhere.
Next up, time to join the queue.
Q is for quagmire. The one disadvantage to working at the bomb range is that when it rains, it becomes a horrendous place to work. And it rains a lot.
Carrie's right. Gas canister rocket was a deluge disaster.
I thought the dangerous part was gonna be the exploding probe tanks. You all right? Oh no.
Sounds bogus was a seasonal monsoon.
Though I love the bomb range, I don't love it so much when it rains. The mud is basically clay. When you walk around, you get stuck. When you drive around, you get stuck. Think we got away with that one? Q's are really hard.
No one likes a good bang more than the MythBusters. But in their explosive encyclopedia, R, somewhat surprisingly, stands for rockets.
And that's surprising because technically, rockets are not explosives. But this being MythBusters, things can and do go wrong.
That's why our rockets turn into explosives sometime.
To be fair, most MythBusters rockets have flown straight and true. But that's not always been the case. First, there was the salami rocket,
I'm making a rocket out of meat.
which was less meat missile and more baloney bomb. But that's nothing compared to the most epic rocket fail,
It's time to install the rockets.
the JATO rocket car revisit.
The goal of the experiment was to get a 67 Impala to fly. So Adam and Jamie spent upwards of $20,000 on supersized rockets, which should have been more than enough to get the job done.
Grant's right. These rockets had power aplenty,
Good, it's on the hook. It's moving well. Here it goes. It's heading towards the ramp.
but with that power came no responsibility.
Or not. So we built a big rolling bomb instead of a rocket. Do we get our money back? I think someone owes me 10,000 bucks.
Now, it turns out there was a glitch, which meant the thrust couldn't escape fast enough. And that meant
The most epic of epic failures in the history of MythBusters, and one of the most spectacular explosions ever.
With R defined by a menacing mishap, S is for our #1 priority, safety.
Now, people often assume that explosions are the most dangerous thing that we do on our show. But in fact, they're some of the safest things we do.
But that's because we have an array of protective gear and a strict set of safety protocols that we follow. But that doesn't mean it doesn't get scary sometimes. Like the time I carried a bag full of explosive gas in a bomb suit just like this.
In a scene that's never aired until now,
All right, I'm gonna start feeling it.
a suited for safety Tory once carried a bubble of trouble,
This isn't too dangerous, right?
knowing that one small spark could spell disaster.
Suddenly, I wish I were wearing a bomb suit too.
All right, you guys ready to see what this bag of gas is capable of?
Here we go, camera ready? Okay.
Holy moly!
So, unlike you'd think, explosions aren't necessarily fraught with danger, but that doesn't make them risk-free.
Ironically, the piece of equipment that has caused the most serious injuries on the show are these safety ballistic shields. They are over 200 pounds apiece. They've crushed a couple of fingers and definitely put out a few backs, but still, much better than getting blown up.
Meanwhile, T is for toilet.
Now, the kitchen isn't the only dangerous place here on MythBusters. The bathroom can be just as dangerous. Why? Because you never know when a toilet might explode.
With an unsavory subject matter,
Just gotta clean out the pipe.
let's not hang around. Whether it be thanks to C4,
Wow.
black powder, or even alkali metals,
Be the mayor of rubidium town. 3, 2, 1.
there's been more than enough blue lunacy on MythBusters. Next, U is not for U-Bend, but for underground.
Right now, I'm burying a firecracker. Why? Because I love underground explosions. I don't know if there's just more of an anticipation, but they just seem to be a lot more fun.
Be they golf and gags,
That was awesome!
drain disasters,
All right, sewer explosion. 3, 2, 1.
simply movie madness.
Firing 4 pounds of info in 3, 2, 1.
Oh! Yeah, I saw it go all the way up the hill there. Oh!
The underground boom is something worth seeing again and again. So it's back to Carrie.
And now for a completely gratuitous explosion underground. In 3, 2, 1. Well, that was a nice little thud.
B was for bomb range. A was for audit. N was for nothing.
Fire. Uh-oh.
And G was for grenade. Put them together, and what do you get?
Fire.
And the bags continue right now.
Uh-oh. All right, now I know all this looks like a lot of automotive junk, but it's actually what's left over from a car we exploded.
So I'm guessing B is for vehicle.
Exactly. Now, we have probably totaled around 130 vehicles on this show. A lot of them we've crashed. Some we've destroyed with the rocket sled at New Mexico Tech. But a lot of them we've blown up.
Shall we roll the montage?
Indeed we shall. Next up is W, a letter that's all about H2O.
Now, water and explosives are a particularly good mix for MythBusters for 2 reasons. First, water and air have very different properties. For example, water is incompressible. It's denser than air. It's more conductive. And all this means that explosions travel differently through water than they do through air.
Indeed, by being incompressible,
Go for it.
water is a great way to help crack a safe. And the way its density differs from air
Everything's in. It looks great.
has led to many a lagoon boom.
50 pounds of info in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.
But what's Grad's other reason for loving this liquid?
And the second reason is that explosions on high speed with water look really cool.
And to prove just that, don't try this at home.
And that is an explosion in water.
With W all washed up. Next up, it's 2 letters for the price of 1, where X is nothing if not predictable.
Go Jeddy. Go Jeddy. With the xylophone with TNT. Well, we've moved on to the letter X, and let's face it, we can't afford to blow up an X-ray, so we've gone the cheap route and blowing up some xylophones. Why do we hate instruments? Because we can't play them.
But X is not flying solo.
We're also gonna throw Y in here because Y is for yelling!
Fire in the hole!
Fire in the hole! Whether it's me or Adam. Fire in the hole! Or JD. Fire in the hole! Or Frank. Fire in the hole! It's always yelled 3 times and in 3 different directions. But every time it's yelled, it definitely means something exciting is gonna happen.
All right, this is X for xylophone because, well, it's too expensive to blow up an X-ray machine. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Ready. 3, 2, 1, firing! Oh, wow!
Ah, like music to my ears.
I call this piece Explosion 753.
From A for audit to Y for yelling and everything in between, the MythBusters A to Z of explosions has been a blast.
Oh, yeah.
And with just 1 letter left, you might say that the guys are going to end with a bang.
All right, well, if X is any indication, next we're going to be blowing up a zebra, right?
No, Z is for Zenith, the pinnacle, the biggest explosion in MythBusters history.
Which would be the blast from homemade diamonds.
Yeah, that was the episode where we were trying to figure out different ways to make diamonds, and one of them involved using explosives.
Yep, when microwaving peanut butter didn't spring any bling,
I'm starting to get the idea that this shouldn't be done inside.
the MythBusters turned to a girl's second best friend, explosives.
It smells good.
They started big, but ended enormous with 5,000 pounds of ANFO.
Charging. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
that's the biggest explosion we've ever done, why isn't it the fan favorite?
Well, unlike the cement truck, which was there and gone,
Well, there's your problem.
we really are just looking at a big giant tube.
Yeah, there's really nothing in it to give you scale. I mean, when the explosion went off, which was 5 times bigger than the cement truck, you couldn't tell how big it was.
Yeah, but unlike the cement truck, we actually have an amazing high speed that just shows the shockwave moving.
All right, fair enough. There's just one more thing that bothers me, though.
What's that?
How are we ever going to top it?
Oh, we'll figure out a way.